Hi, and welcome to the Christian Author Bootcamp, a 10-week book promotion blitz brought to you by ChristianPublishingTips.com. I'm Allison. Thank you for joining us for week number 3. I hope you're doing well on your journey so far and that you're enjoying this experience. This week we're going to be talking about news releases, and your assignment is going to be to write a news release and distribute it to various media outlets and through sources. So let's talk first about writing that news release. It may sound simple, you're a writer after all, but there are some things that you really need to keep in mind when writing a news release. First and foremost, try to think like a reporter. Think about what's newsworthy. Here's a headline that is not a good idea. Author writes book. Nope, that's not going to cut it. You need to come up with something that's more cutting edge, that deals with things that are going on maybe in your community or across the U.S. Are there statistics that you can throw in there that may be newsworthy? Is there something you can tie it to? We had a children's book author recently, and she was really pushed by the recession to write this children's book because she had been laid off and she wanted to start a new phase of her life. So we kind of tied it into the recession to show that she was, even though she had lost her job, she was going down this new path and fulfilling her dreams. So it's just another way to kind of tie it to a hard news angle. You may also want to consider putting in a quote from yourself. It may seem a little silly since you're the one writing it, but people like to see a quote that maybe adds a little bit of emotion to the story. And also try to think about adding some information about your publisher at the bottom. This could be just like a little blurb, maybe 1 or 2 lines that gives the history of your publishing company if you have one. It just kind of adds a little bit of credibility. And make sure you include your contact information, such as your phone number, email address, so that if a reporter does decide to do a story with you, they can reach you immediately. And keep your news release to 1 page. Thousands of these things cross the news desk of local reporters every day, so you really want to keep it simple. 1 page is great. Now let's talk a little bit about distribution. Now, it's important to know exactly how to get your news release out there so that it's read by people. Well, one way is to submit it to some free online press release distribution sites. One that I like to use is called prlog.org. And of course, I'll have the links to these resources at the bottom of this video. prlog.org is just a site where you can go on, quickly create an account, paste your news release into some different fields, and it will immediately be put out there on the internet. Another resource is for if you want to target Christian media, is to check out Christian Media Connect. Now for $29.99, they'll give you a source list, which is basically a grouping of 25 Christian television stations, 30 Christian news sites, 50 Christian radio stations, dozens of Christian magazines, things like that. So if you really want to target the Christian media outlets, that might be a good resource for you. And again, it's $29.99. Also, since last week your assignment was to get in on the conversation, you probably are on Twitter, I'm hoping, by now. So one great resource that I'll include a link on is called MediaOnTwitter.com. Basically, this is the most comprehensive database of media that are on Twitter. Now, these are actual reporters in different forms of media, magazines, television stations, radio stations, anything you can think of from all around the country. They're on Twitter, and so this list will help you find them. So if you have some media outlets that you think your story would be a good fit for, this would be a great way to find those reporters that you need to make that connection with, and you can do that through Twitter. Also, don't forget about your local media. This is one of the great opportunities that you have to really get the word out about your book. And people love stories about people that have written books and have been really successful with it, because writing a book is a huge goal for millions of people, and people want to hear about others who have actually succeeded at this goal. So make sure you contact all of your local media outlets, send this news release to them, and try to get some publicity that way. Again, thank you for joining us for week number 3 of the Christian Author Bootcamp. I'm Allison, and I hope to see you back here next week for week number 4. Have a great week.